Hi guys, it's Ismail from Zanko Jewelers. Welcome back to another watch review. Today we're looking at something brand new. This is the reference 126518 LN Cosmograph Daytona from Rolex. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in this box we have the brand new Oysterflex Daytona 126518 LN. This features the turquoise dial and was one of the more controversial releases at Watches and Wonders of 2025. Now, of course, the Cosmograph Daytona is probably one of Rolex's most iconic collections in their line, and the reason why this was so controversial is because it did feature a Tiffany dial on the yellow gold case. However, now having this in hand and having sold a few, it definitely has turned heads and opinions, and I believe that's because it has a limited feel due to the unusual colorway of the dial. This reference then, in my opinion, is definitely the perfect blend of heritage DNA from the Cosmograph Daytona line with some modern luxury. Now, jumping into the aesthetics of this watch, the most notable aspect of this watch is the dial and what it's most famous for. This one has a turquoise blue, or as the community are now calling it, the Tiffany blue, that aligns with the Tiffany OP, for example, and the older beach Daytonas. This turquoise blue is then contrasted perfectly with the black chronograph counters. Looking closer into the dial, it has 18 karat yellow gold applied hour markers and the iconic red Daytona, which adds a nice contrast again to the dial. The bezel, like other Oysterflex Daytonas and stainless steel Daytonas, is made of a Cerachrom ceramic bezel. This was released in 2016 and has been in the Daytona line ever since. The case is made of an 18 karat yellow gold, which is polished and satin finish, which I think again is the perfect contrast. If you were to ask my opinion, I think the 18 karat yellow gold case was the perfect choice of precious metal material. If they had chosen the rose or white gold, I think it just wouldn't have been as complementary as this yellow gold and the turquoise color of the dial. The bracelet is Rolex's patented black Oysterflex bracelet. The dial color can only be found on this bracelet. They don't have a full yellow gold precious metal watch for this specific dial color. Obviously, that was a very controversial move, having put it on the Oysterflex bracelet as well, but I think in person, it definitely looks better than if the watch was on a full yellow gold bracelet. So they've definitely made the right choice there. One notable feature about the Oysterflex bracelets now on the new 126518 references and any new Oysterflex reference is that it does feature the extension and glide lock system similar to the Submariner, for example. I think that adds a lot more versatility to the watch, and you have to be less fussy about the Oysterflex sizes that come with the watch. Now, going into the technical specifications of this watch, it features the new movement Calibre 4131, which you'll find across all the Daytonas. This allows for +2 or -2 seconds of precision timekeeping every day, and it also allows for 72 hours of power reserve. This is a self-winding chronograph movement, so of course that features your hours and minutes, but also seconds. Then it features a 30-minute counter, a 12-hour counter, and the small seconds at the 6 o'clock. The watch has a 40mm case size with 11.9mm in case thickness. Just like every other Rolex, it has 100 meters of water resistance. That is contingent though on the screw down crown being fully pushed in. The watch also has chronograph pushers, which also work on a screw mechanism, so you have to unwind them to activate the chronograph movement. The retail price of this watch is £31,750. But on the secondary market, you can pick it up around £90,000 2025. Now, that price is almost triple of its retail price, but I would say that's for good reason. As mentioned at the start of this video, I feel this watch definitely has a more limited supply, as there have been few and far between, at least in the earlier months of the release of this watch. I think that could change though, and that more of these will be released towards the latter end of this year. And going into next year, I see this being quite a popular model at a more accessible price than it is now. Now, there are a few comparables for this watch, and I would say the most notable one is the Oyster Perpetual 41 with the Tiffany dial. That one in particular at one point was well over 40,000, but today you can pick it up in 2025 for around 17,000 to 18,000 pounds. The other closest comparables to this watch would be in the Daytona line itself, one being the Pikachu dial 126518 LN. That features the yellow dial with the black chronograph counters, similar to this one. And then the other reference I would say is closely compared would be the Meteorite dial. The Meteorite dial being more limited, similar to this one, you can pick up around £72,500, and the Pikachu dial you can pick up 2025 unworn around £38,000. So with that being said, there are multiple entry points for the yellow gold Oysterflex Daytona range. So to conclude this review, I think this Oysterflex Daytona is definitely one of the best releases of the Watches and Wonders Geneva for Rolex this year. I think if you're considering purchasing this watch, then definitely see it in the flesh, because it's a lot better than any picture you would have seen online. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next review.